Which NFC East team do you guys believe has the most work to do this offseason? And we've sort of covered some of the warts that are attached to some of these teams, some of the things that they've got to work on. We'll start with you.
Yeah, let's bring it right back to the Cowboys. You mentioned it, Jane. 21 unrestricted free. That's crazy. 21 unrestricted free agents. This isn't a team that's coming off of a Super Bowl where, you know what, we have a little bit of time. The coach has a leash. No. I mean, it's on the flip side of that. They bring in Mike McCarthy. They want him to win right now. I mean, if you're familiar with the Green Bay Packers and what Mike McCarthy did, you know that he's used to having success. So why not bring that success here? And with everybody getting better, listen, it seems like the Redskins and the Giants were in the basement of the NFC East. And the Cowboys, with the way they started the season, were actually sitting in the master bedroom. The Eagles, they were sitting somewhere in the living room. But the Cowboys, with how they ended, went from the master bedroom to, like, the people under the stairs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
you don't want to be under there.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? The last game of the season, all they got to do is win, and they're in with all of that talent, and they couldn't do it. I feel like they have the most work to do. It starts the infrastructure of that roster. Who are they going to keep? Who are they going to let go? And then after that, Mike McCarthy. How are you going to bring that winning mentality? I know, listen, for people that are Cowboys fans, he's not going to turn Dak Prescott into Aaron Rodgers. They're two completely different individuals. But what we're trying to find is a creative flow to the offense so they don't sputter at times and then look great at times. Too wildly inconsistent to have any success in their division.
It's interesting, Jane. I think they made a mistake. I think they should have replaced Jason Garrett midseason, and I think it could have saved this season. They didn't. We haven't gotten your take on this. Nate covered the football. What do you think Mike McCarthy will do? Just the vibe of the team, a fresh start, someone new talking. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a singular voice. In other words, the one thing that I saw in Dallas that was happening a lot was because Jason had been there for so long, because he was sort of a guy that was anointed by Jerry as his first head coaching position, I don't believe they ever took the handcuffs off him. I mean, it got better over the years, and I certainly think he had the respect of his locker room. But there were also cases where some of these veteran guys would just go straight to the principal's office when they had a problem. You can't have that in an organization. That was I mean, I saw text messages from
That's fascinating, Jane,
where that took place. Just blatant disrespect to the head coach. What we're seeing in Dallas, and even Jerry admitted it last week at the Combine, Mike McCarthy is getting the sort of autonomy in that organization that we haven't really seen since Jimmy. And I think that's what this team needs. I think that there's a new sheriff in town. I think he's going to hold these guys accountable. A lot of these guys haven't, I mean, he hasn't been sitting down having warm, fuzzy conversations with them. He's putting together the framework right now. He's putting together his coaching staff. He's looking, you know, at the talent he's trying to build on his roster, but he hasn't, like, brought any of these guys in and taken them out to dinner and said, let's have some warm, fuzzy conversations. And I think that that's needed in Dallas. So it's sort of a wait-and-see approach, but it's certainly a different approach than what we're used to seeing. With that being said, I sort of love that he's loose, he's candid, he's entertaining up on the podium, even when he's not telling us stuff that, you know, we necessarily want to write in our articles or that are major headlines. It's fresh, though.
Okay. It's real.
And he's got skins.
He does. He's got big-time skins. It's funny, we're in New York, and we haven't mentioned one of the teams in the NFC East that we got to get to. Jane, you mentioned warm, fuzzy conversations with your players as a new coach. There's not having those, and then there's not even acknowledging their existence on the planet Earth. And when Joe Judge, the New York Giants' new head coach, sat with Schrager, he wasn't here to talk about anybody. Go ahead.
You know what, I'm not going to go into too many specifics with individual players. And be honest with you, I'll kind of tell you right now and kind of lay it out. There's going to be a lot of questions about individual players. And look, at this point right here, every one of our players has a blank slate. They're going to have a chance to come in and compete. So I'm not going to go ahead and try to change the status of anybody or create a hierarchy in the program right now by talking about individuals.
All right, I love that. This is tremendous because this is a new approach to it. You're coming in now, you're 38 years old, but you're like, here's how I'm going to set the standard. This is what it is. You're laying it down. Not going to start listing what I like about Saquon, not going to do all this stuff. And the reasoning for that is what?
Well, look, they all have strengths. It's tough for me to tell everyone on the team that you have a blank slate, everyone's on equal playing ground. But I just spent the last month, you know, on a tour talking about individual players and how we're going to use them. The truth is we don't know how we're going to use everyone until we get them on the field and really see how they're reacting within our schemes. So everybody has a clean slate. Everyone's going to get a chance to come in every day and compete for the job they want. They can earn everything they get.
That thing's aging like wine. We love that. Now, understand, DJ and Schrager, with respect to them, they're lobbing softballs to the coach about how great is it going to be to work with Saquon? How are you excited to get to work with Daniel Jones? I'm not talking about anybody. No one's anointed.
Don't want to get into specifics.
No, I'm not getting into any specific. Just, do you like Daniel Jones? I don't want to talk about it, which is fascinating as far as the media is concerned and as far as the players listening to that. If you're Saquon, you're like, what?
Clean
or are
slate?
you like, let's work? You guys tell me. What do you think?
Clean
Clean slate from what?
And what's fascinating, too, is when I was at the Combine, I talked to some beat writers, and they said that they're not making the assistants available, which Jason Garrett's got to love. He no longer has to talk to the media, and he talked to us,
That's true.
Yeah.
5 days a week.
Right.
So I do think it's sort of, this is another new sheriff in town.
Nate, is it an eye roller for the players, or is it let's go?
He won me in that conversation, though.
Okay, you like
Let me
that.
be honest, because I didn't hear much from him when he took the job. But then he was just very brash in a sense, where it's like, I'm gonna do it my way. A little bit of it reminded me when Matt Patricia first got to Detroit. I feel like Matt Patricia has adjusted just a hair. I understand it. The Patriot way is something that coaches want to take with them and leave Boston and then go elsewhere. It doesn't always work like that. I will say this. A coach said to me when I was a rookie, I will treat everybody fair, but I won't treat you all the same, because not every superstar needs to be treated like the last dude on the roster. You have Saquon. Saquon is the man.
Yes.
Treat him as such.
Okay.
Certain guys deserve a little bit extra treatment. So
Jimmy Johnson
please
always
say-
said that.
You feel me?
Yeah, there's different rules.
Well, I guess we answered the question on the screen, who has the most work to do. It's the Giants, because they don't even know the players on their roster. What position they are. That's a lot of work.
Clean slate,
Good luck,
Kyle.
Coach.
Clean slate.
Clean slate. Clean as a whistle. Go get him, Coach.